All right, hello and welcome. It seems like the intro theme isn't not working. Let's see if we can play this again. Wrong one. All right. As you see, I'm going to be working on the Trino community broadcast post-production. Now, last time we did the pre-production. Now we need to look at the post-production. And so let's bring up my screen for starters here. So this is what we want to achieve, right? We have on the Trino website, this is my local version running the Trino website, we have a show note in the end that has the video, that has the timestamps, that has the information we already had, like hosts and guests, has info about what we talked about releases, which was much shorter this time. Then a little bit of what we talked about, a resources section and the rounding out section. That's pretty much all we want to achieve. But there's some things we need to take care of that for now. So first things we need to get going is we need to get these timestamps going. In order to do that, I used to always watch the video, and that's actually pretty good because it gives you an idea of what's been happening after the show, and then manually timestamp that. But I found that I can use Gemini now, and I just like tell it to create those timestamps in this kind of format for now, because that makes it a bit easier. What I then have to do is put that into the show notes here in the YouTube channel itself. I reformatted as well to like not have sentence to just use sentence case, and I just missed one here. And then also obviously I have to go through and actually check each of those timestamps. So I would save this, go over to the episode, refresh it, and then I would go and like in the description here, look at the various sections and like jump here and see and confirm that it jumps to the right part. I've done that already. That's sort of like busy work. That's a bit boring for you to follow manually, but essentially you got to get these timestamps in here, because what this does is it breaks up the chaptering in the YouTube channel itself. And with that, you then have it more accessible to everyone. It also makes it so that in the blog post, you can then do the same thing, right? Like people that are only interested in some sections, like if you just want to know about Trino 477, you don't have to scroll through manually and that kind of stuff. And also people can directly link to that. So they can go right mouse button, click this, share it or whatever else. And that's also useful. So, well, I think it's useful anyway. I enjoy it when other shows do it. So I'm doing that for my audience. So I do this, I take this here, throw it into my editor here, right? So once I've done this, actually, like once it's in YouTube, I can copy it over into here, and then I can just reformat this. What I do is I just reformat to consistent YAML. That should do it. I mean, I could manually do that as well. It's one of those things, right? Like you can use the tool and it will probably work, but it might also mess up. Sometimes it's slower, sometimes it's faster. I try to find the right compromise between using those AI tools and at the same time making it work. Like while this is running here, for example, some of these things, the times were just a bit off. The text was kind of wrong and weird. But yeah, it did its thing. You see here also, like, I'll accept this now. It's fine. It's not really correct because this is a mess. But I can just go over this and correct its mistake. And we're clean in business, right? So we can do that. So we have the timestamps in place. We can also test this if you want. So if I go like here, I already have the site running, but again, to remind you all, I can Jekyll run minus future because I did that before the show. Now I don't need to do that anymore. Right? I can just go Jekyll run without it, and it will work just fine because, well, the date of the show, as it is in the YAML file, in the text file here, right? That is not a past, right? It's the 30th of October now. So the local rendering of this now, if I go back up here, right, like this is 76. This is what we wanted to achieve. Now let's go back to community broadcast, and you see the 77 is here, and it renders correctly. We have our intro, and now we have the timestamp. So this is all good. I can test one of them. Let's say roadmap and future. And it did mess up something. I'm not sure what's messed up now. What did it do? 4270 22S. So it did something wrong. What did it do wrong? 70. Oh. Okay, so see this, I didn't realize that this silly thing has all these in our YAM. So the way this works actually is that these strings get parsed in the layout template and converted over into time. So what I actually have to do is I have to well, let's just do this. I'll go Control Shift F, and we'll just replace this with time : nothing. And then unfortunately, and yeah, I could have done this again with the AI, but as I said, sometimes this is faster, sometimes the AI is faster. When it comes to quality, you're nearly always faster yourself, but that's just what it is. So let's see. And as you can see, this was also good that we tested this, because now, ta-da-da, we are at the right timestamp. So this works now. I'm happy with that. We have the host information. We have Jordan Zimmerman. I corrected the spelling as you reminded me so nicely in the show. It is Zimmerman with one N in his name, and not two, even though the German word is Zimmermann. But obviously that's not from the German man, Zimmermann. Over the years, it's changed. Then I already had this stuff. I already had this. Here's the links to my Manfred Mentors channel that I'm like literally on now. I then also wrote this up myself quickly to just chat about Pablo and Jordan and their background. And then I actually used the AI to use Gemini to write me a bit of a summary of what it was talking about. I had to kind of heavily edit it and like also even fix the grammar. So whatever. It was a starting point, and it's sometimes as good as it gets. Starting points are good, right? So what I ended up then doing is also, and I noticed this just now, this should actually be one level deeper in the hierarchy. So if you look here, go over here, this should be like one level smaller, right? Although the difference is not that much. And also, this is also, I haven't noticed this yet. I just copied this over. I'm changing this all to be consistent. Sentence case. This is something I got used to because I adopted the Google developer documentation style guide and recommendations also from the material UI. And honestly, once you are used to like not seeing this weird sentence case thing, this weird title case thing that's so used so often, unfortunately still, it's just so much more readable. And that's also what the user research details from Google revealed. Especially also when you then link to these titles and they stay in the sentence case, it just makes a lot more sense. So I'm a strong proponent of not using title case. Also, looking at people that propose using title case, they often get it actually totally wrong and like use some words big and some words long, and then they do weird stuff like using title case in item lists and stuff like that. So it just goes crazy, and I'm like not a fan, let's just say. So In Trino, luckily, we got this adopted to use just normal sentence case like in our documentation, where we also, by the way, adopted the Google Developer Documentation style guide. So I got this ready here, releases, introducing Pablo, the AWS proxy section, resources. I did get the slide deck from Pablo and Jordan, and I added this here. I uploaded the file into this directory in the Git repository. This site base URL shortcut here basically makes it so that when I test this locally, it will also work. So if you can see here, if I go scroll this down, this presentation here, the URL to it is localhost 4000. So it doesn't go out to trino.io or anything like that. It just uses the local base URL that's defined in it when I run locally. And then also here, I linked to Jordan's record builder open source project, which is pretty awesome. I have to look at this a bit closer, but very interesting. You see, as he mentioned here, deconstructors all around the records, kind of like syntax and system from Java 16, as here mentioned. Jordan mentions it. Crazy that's that long ago that this got introduced. It feels like it's been around forever, but anyway. Luckily, Trino is all the way on Java 25, but this is a cool framework. You're definitely worth checking out and having a look at. Jordan is an amazing Java programmer. You can always learn something from him. Yeah, and this rounds out this thing already. So everything looks good. Let's look at check this link as well. So that's my sponsorship link that works. My contribution tracker also works. By the way, this is where the current tasks that I'm working on are capped. And so one of them is Trino Community Broadcast 77, which I'm working on here. And then I'll be closing that and shoving it over into the completed tasks over here, just for like reference. And you see here, this is also things I want to do. There's more, but you know, this is already quite a lot. Yeah, so I think we are ready to go back for a second to see where we're at. So this is all good. I'm just having a quick sanity check. Yeah. And as I mentioned, Trino Community Broadcast 78, please do join us. And because I'm highlighting in here, I just noticed that there's a bullet at the end of the sentence. So that kind of, let's get rid of that so it's consistent. And the Trino contributor call, maybe we should link to that. And we could link to that we could link to the events page, essentially. Actually, that might be the best. Because that's where the calendar shows. No, actually, sorry. I'm just changing my mind here because, oh no, 26th of November. Yeah, I was just going to say this is not going to work because I have to make sure that I'm actually available to run this, but I am available on the 26th of November from all I know. So what we can do is we can go here, and where I ultimately want to link to is the events page. So this event section, so I can just go copy this. Because as you see here, scroll down a little bit more, there's a calendar, and this calendar has the contributor call right here. And anything else. If you have any event that you're running in the Trino community, let me know and we'll add it onto calendar. 77, paste. All right, we're good. I'm declaring this done. And the next step I have to do is go and add this. As you can see, there's a commit already here. So what we want to actually do is git commit minus amend. So that basically makes a new commit that combines what I've done plus what was already there before and uses the same commit message. In Trino, we play heavy focus on having clean commit messages that are like self-contained, make sense, and like work from one to the next. And we've also ultimately adopted that over the website. So this is good. So the only difference is now if I go git push, that's not going to work because you know how Git repositories work. If there is a commit there and you don't have that last commit in your repository as well, it sort of like says that, well, these kind of like are totally different. And I have to basically tell it, hey, you know, I know what I'm doing here, so I have to force push it. Some repositories don't allow that, and that's a good thing. But for a branch in my own, like even my own repositories, I don't allow that. But for branches, it's kind of like a necessary thing. And you do that, and that will mean that the pull request that we can look at here is .io on the website is now ready. So I can go Cole, ask Cole for a review. You see Sourcer AI will also have a look at it and probably like whatever, think about something, maybe complain about some of my spelling mistakes if I have any, but if not, then it's fine too. You can see the full release, full thing here. You also see that the PDF is here and that the index page was also updated. So everything is basically ready. And we can go here and also let Pablo know and Jordan. So add Randgard and add Pablo. This is ready now from my perspective. Let me know if I'm missing anything, and I can add. We'll let you know when it's merged and live. So I'll just comment this. Now I'm gonna just have to wait for Cole to chime in. I'll ping him on Slack later as well, but that's no big deal. These guys will also have a look, and then hopefully sometime tomorrow I can press merge, and that's all that's needed. The site then takes care of how it has to publish everything. I can show you in a future episode how that works, but ultimately it's just a static site generated from Jekyll. So basically just copies the stuff over and then exposes it via GitHub Pages. And that is it for today already, crazily enough, I think. Gonna roll it out. So let me just switch over here. So again, thank you very much for joining me. This was some Trino work today, Trino Gateway. I have more news. Trino Gateway, Trino 478 was already released, but probably next time I'm going to show you how to start the release notes for Trino Gateway. We're going to work towards 17, and there's some cool changes already in the repo, and we'll have to look what they are. So with that, I will see you, and we are over and out in a second if I find the right button.